Hey everybody, it's Keven and Andrew have a podcast. It is Wednesday, February 10th. And we're here live in living color. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in Southern California. It's a little cloudy today, right? Was it nice today? I didn't go outside today.
If you look at my window here, the weather's clearly dark right now.
My name is Keven O'Neill, and that's Mr. Andrew Caravella.
How's it going? This is officially the first episode where my ass is sitting down and I'm not standing.
I know, it's why. Were you standing the whole time?
Every single time. I have one of those rising desks because I sit all the time. So, I need to move, so that's why.
Well, I did a whole thing with my studio this last, as you can tell, I got a new mic. I think I
know.
Had it last week.
It looks like the residuals are kicking in finally.
You got your SM7B, and I was jealous. I had to have one too. These are
you bought two, okay? I have one, you bought two.
It's the official microphone of Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
That is. He actually had to fact check me on that and found out I was telling the truth.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
It's a great mic.
It sounds great. I got my studio all fixed up. I got my touch screen mixer here. I got the camera right here. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
Very good.
Just a hair bit. I think I'm gonna make this up just
fix that webcam.
That's good. It's all good. It's really good, and I'm very happy, and it's all working. Surprisingly, it worked.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had a good week. I've been in a lot of sessions this week, playing music. I got a gig this weekend coming up.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
right?
Not too bad. Things are opening up here in California, supposedly. We'll see what happens. And
that's what they're saying. We're on our best behavior at the moment.
I've been feeling pretty good, not too bad. I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm really happy. Things are good. I've been able to eat. I've been able to sleep. I've been able to work a little bit here in the studio.
I'm working too much right now.
I know you're doing that newscast thing still, right?
Yeah, still doing the news 5 or 6 days a week, plus my normal gig. Plus, I've had a plethora of auditions come my way from both coasts, East and West, which is good. But I've actually had to skip a couple because I just can't keep up with the demand right now with everything else that I'm doing. So I'm probably cranking out about 5 to 10. Depending on my mood, every week for auditions, 5 to 10 voiceover auditions, which is
nice.
Which is great, but it's just hard to keep up with it all.
If you had a dime for every voiceover audition you did, you'd be a millionaire, right?
I could retire. Yeah,
Same here. I get tons of auditions every day, and a lot of them I blow off. I think whatever.
Well, if you get one that's got money on the table and you don't,
they've all got money on the table. The ones I get offered got money, but a lot of them are they're like.
I mean, if it's a gig, like, hey, here's money to do this. You're not auditioning and you can't do it. You just send it my way.
Oh, no, I always take those.
Because that's
I'm
guaranteed.
Take those. That's the thing. And it's kind of weird now in radio when, I guess I was used to just, they say, here's a script. Go in there and read that. And, here's a character voice you want to do. I mean, people have heard, and, when you go to these sites, my stuff is on there and the people listen to them. They go, we want you to audition for this. And why? You hear my stuff. You know what I sound like. I'm not going to sound any different in an audition. I can read it however you want it, And we do a lot of live. I connect with Skype or with Dual, or something like that, or here on Zoom even. We do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say, "Well, can you read it like this?" Okay, well, I'll read it like this, and then I read it, and they go, "Oh, well, no. Can you put a little more emphasis on the word were or the word cow or whatever the word is that they want to emphasize?" It's just voice acting. It's the same thing it's always been. There's no difference. So it's a matter of inflection.
Yeah, before we get into the monologue, we got some news for you guys today. We just want to remind everyone, you could always subscribe to the audio-only episodes if you're on the go. Amazon Alexa, Google and Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Or if you want to watch the video versions of this and see our wonderful guest today, you could always go to YouTube or Facebook Watch and subscribe there as well.
That's right. And, of course, you can go to KevinO'NeillSoundLabs.com, KevinO'Neill, soundlabs.com. And you can see all of our podcasts.
Everything is there. He owns this.
Part of season 2. And, of course, go to YouTube and get all the video stuff, too. It's all awesome.
Yeah.
It's really
all right. Let's get into the news. Right? So, Kevin, TikTok. You don't have one, right?
I do. Well, I don't. I have a TikTok. I don't. I just actually signed up for TikTok. You'll be proud.
You use it where you like kind of surf it and watch different videos?
Yeah, I'm just checking it all out right
Okay.
now. I'm not, doing anything on it myself, but
All
I
right.
am
Well, you're
checking
going
it
to
all
love
out.
this. A Louisiana TikTok user put Gorilla Glue in her hair, and she's heading to California in hopes to remove the glue. This is after a month of her hair being stuck together. TMZ reported Tessica Brown received an offer from a plastic surgeon to remove the glue, as he says he can fix her problem with a lengthy procedure. The doctor estimates it will take 2 to 3 days to clear her hair of the glue. Brown says she replaced her normal hairspray with Gorilla Glue spray adhesive about a month ago. Her hair has been stuck ever since, with no help from home remedies or a trip to the ER. TMZ says that the doctor will do it for over $10,000 procedure to Tessica for free.
That's just crazy. I don't know why. Why would
Stop.
anybody put Gorilla Glue in their hair? I mean,
Okay.
I heard there's a product though that is used for hair products. It's called Gorilla something, but I
But
guess somebody got
it's
confused.
branded completely different. It doesn't even look like the Gorilla Glue packaging. And fun fact, that particular product is actually in the hair care aisle of your department stores.
Yeah, she went to
Gorilla
Lowe's to
Glue,
get some hair care products. Is what
yeah.
she
You don't go to the hardware aisle to get hair care products. And look, she's black, right? So if you're ethnic, there's ethnic aisles.
Right.
Actually, one aisle over, usually. If it's not on the hair care aisle, it's one aisle over. There's no need for you to walk to the other side of the store to pick up Gorilla Glue to spray it on your head. If you see the video, she is real shiny on the scalp. That glue is just illuminating light.
I could
But
go so many ways with jokes with this right now. Just
I
I
know.
really have no idea.
Here's what I noticed, though. Here's what I noticed. It's the investigative journalist inside of me. If you go to all of her social media, the posts seem fairly new. There's not a whole lot. I think this might be a scam. I think it's just a stunt and an attempt to get some fast cash at the expense of her head being glued together. I don't know. It just seems a little funny to me. How come we've never heard a story like this before?
You know, it's amazing that I, I just don't get it. Why people don't read labels? They don't do anything. They just go in there, and then who would go to a hardware aisle? I mean, if it's in a hardware aisle, I think there's a hair care product. I mean, how ridiculously
Right.
ridiculously can you?
And some people on my social media were like, well, Andrew, maybe she already had it lying around the house. Well, it clearly says on the label, don't put it on your skin.
Right.
So what were you thinking? What is that, Jeff Fox? Is it Jeff Foxworthy? One of the blue collar guys? Here's your
Yes.
sign.
That's Bill Engvall.
Yeah, here's your sign.
Here's your sign.
Don't do that. Don't put Gorilla Glue at that on your head. It's not appropriate.
If you go to the hardware store for Gorilla hair glue, you might be a redneck. No, you won't be a redneck. Rednecks are smarter than that.
Here's another one. Texas lawyer. This is a good one. Texas lawyer shows up to Zoom court with a kitten filter. So a Texas lawyer, he was learning how to remove Zoom filters after one appeared to make him look like a kitten while court was in session. The video is now viral. Attorney Rob Ponton was unable to figure out how to remove the filter, even with the help of his assistant. So at one point, and again, this is on the video, he literally tells the judge he was prepared to move forward with the filter on because, quote, he promised he was not a cat. Well, of course you're not a cat. This happened during a trial over a man who allegedly tried to leave the U.S. with contraband.
And you're going to show this video, right?
Yeah, let's roll it.
Show that piece of the video.
All right, and we're back. So, yeah, that's. But why? Why?
I'm not a cat.
My favorite part after that part is when the eyes on the cat go to the side.
It is crazy. That's
you can hear the franticness in his tone too, which just makes it even better.
You can see the judge right now. It's a talking cat. I'm talking to a cat. That's a cat. It's a talking cat. I'm going to make $1 million. No.
Oh, that is great. That is
tell
great.
the judge I'm not a cat. Like he didn't know that already. The judge is a judge. Come on.
And speaking of cats, I love this story. This is a feel-good story. A cat was reunited with his family after 4 years. He's back home. He was missing again 4 years. Carl left his Bay City, Texas home and somehow ended up nearly 600 miles away in Arkansas. He was hanging out in a neighborhood there while residents cared for him, hoping for somebody to find him. Carl was recently taken to a clinic to have his microchip scanned, and that's when they figured out just how far from home he was. He made it back to Bay City this week. How does a cat travel that far? Did he hop on a train?
I don't know. Cats are crazy, man. I wouldn't have one. I wouldn't have a cat at all. I'm
I
not
have a
cat lover
cat. I
at all.
love cats.
I'm not a cat lover at all. Don't like them. Got breaking news here. Breaking news.
Yeah, go for it.
Larry Flint, the founder of Hustler magazine, who oversaw a massive porn empire, died today, according to several media reports. He was
So who's
also
the heir?
I don't know. He was 78 years old. 78 years old. Flint launched Hustler in 1974, which quickly grew to become one of the country's most popular adult magazines. Flint told CBS in 2014 that he didn't expect Hustler to go even to last longer than it did, and more than a few years, actually, is all he thought it was going to last. But at its peak in the 1980s, the magazine had a circulation of 3 million people, man. 3 million people. That's a lot of people.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So now Hefner and Flint are gone.
Yep. And of course, in 1976, Flint was convicted of obscenity and conspiracy.
Yeah, he had scandals.
He served 25 years in prison. But the case was dismissed on appeal.
But how long was he in prison for? Oh, no, the case was
He was
dismissed.
supposed to serve 25 years in prison, but it
wow.
was dismissed on appeal. Let me correct that, what I just said there.
Wow, that's impressive.
And also, he was shot and paralyzed from the waist down. The gunman, who was a white supremacist and a serial killer, who claimed he was upset by an interracial photo shoot that was done that appeared in an issue of the magazines earlier. He didn't like that, so he shot Larry Flint.
That's tragic, but he went on. I guess he lived a fulfilled life, right?
I'm assuming so. I didn't really keep up with the man very much myself, but those people. He just. I guess he made the best out of life that he could. He was in a golden wheelchair that cost $80,000. $80,000 for that wheelchair. Golden. It's a golden wheelchair. Pretty crazy.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, I believe our guest is on standby right now.
He is.
All right, waiting to get into this thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a true rock star for you guys today. She's an international rock star, and she is one of my really good friends who I've had the opportunity to interview on a couple of occasions over the years. She even has a TV show, which is pretty amazing. We'll get to that also. Ladies and gentlemen, from KingQueen, it's INA.
Yay, Ina.
Where is she? There she is.
In right now. Here she comes.
It's popping in.
There she
is.
Hello.
Oh, there she is. All right, I can hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see you. That pink matches the blue hair amazingly.
Thank you.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, those are not freckles on your face that you grew, because I've never seen them there before. What's going on here?
It's glitter.
Are you shining over there?
I'm always shining.
So, okay, you are a woman that does rock music. That is so cool, right? Like, tell us a little bit, and our viewers and our listeners who don't know you, who you are, how you came to be in LA, being a rock star.
Hi everyone. I'm INA of KingQueen. I'm originally from Sweden. I moved to London to study music. Before I did this, I wrote a lot of my own stuff, but I really, really wanted to study music. And while I was in London, I was kind of studying like different genres, and each genre I was studying made me more and more sure and aware of the fact that I love rock and roll the most. And sometimes, you gotta experiment with other styles to really realize this is my path. So anyways, long story short, I got pretty bored. Not with London, I did not want to further my studies in doing different genres, because each quarter was genre based. So I looked up different schools and I didn't care which school it was going to be. My favorite one that came up on Google was Musicians Institute in Hollywood. And I was kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go. And I auditioned and got in and studied and loved it and started a career here.
And you never left. You never left.
Exactly.
That's totally awesome. I like all this stuff that you're doing and saying right now.
Now, I've asked you this before, but I'm going to ask you again. Okay, so you come here to the States. Biggest culture shock that was the first thing you're like, oh my gosh, this is not how we do things back home. Are
Loser.
you there? Did she freeze?
I think she.
Did I lose you?
Okay, there you are. You're not.
There you are. Sorry.
Okay. So biggest culture shock.
All right. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad culture shock. It's a good culture shock because it's actually empowered my life. But my culture shock, and I'm not talking crap about Sweden, is how loving you guys are to each other. And I know a lot of people don't agree, especially with the election right now and the climate.
This was a long time ago, I'm assuming.
But for real, like, you Americans are not afraid to express love. And I am not used to compliments. I was not used to feeling pride, and that it's okay to feel pride. In my culture, you're not really supposed to talk about the things you're good at. And in America, it's you embrace people that are good at something. And
it's funny you say that, because here in the States, we think the Swedes are great at everything. And I don't think I've ever heard anyone say, oh yeah, the Swedes, because they're crappy with this or that. I've never heard that. Whenever there's a Swedes reference, it's because things are impeccable and amazing. So that's kind of interesting that you say that.
Yeah. It is amazing. I mean, I love the country I grew up in, but I think it wasn't until here I was really able to grow. And that's because of the culture. I mean, I remember being in like magazines growing up, and I would go to school with a knot in my stomach because I didn't want anybody to acknowledge it in a negative way. Versus here, your friends are like, high five, good job, keep going. And it's just different. It's a different culture.
It is kind of weird because of the fact that, all Americans love Sweden. We like to go over there. We like to visit, like the sightsee. And it's a beautiful place to go, and a lot of things to go. So it's hard to believe that you guys are not, or they would not want to acknowledge the great things that you have over there, or the great things that people do over there. That's kind of unusual to hear.
Yeah, we're not vocal about it. We actually have a thing called Jantelagen, and you can look it up.
Jantelagen.
Yeah, and it's the law of Jante, and it's not just like career based. It's like, if you bought a new car, don't tell anybody. Like, that's not something you mention at dinner. That's not something, like, it's just don't tell anyone. Like, it's just in our culture. Like, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, for me personally, this place allowed me to grow because it was giving me the confidence I didn't have, because I constantly felt like, okay, we're doing good, but don't tell anyone.
We call that keeping up with the Joneses here. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Kardashians by today's standards.
Right. We get a new car. Next neighbor's got a new car. Oh man, we got to go out and get a new car. They got a new lawn. They got AstroTurf on their lawn. We have to go out and get AstroTurf on ours. We have a different way of life over here. It's we try to keep up with everybody. Crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I want to talk more about the music now, because you've actually have kind of stayed in the rock genre all these years.
Right.
You've experimented with that, and we do hear the growth, the progressiveness in your music, but you've basically have stayed in that lane. I've been all over the map because I'm such a hot mess when I was doing music. So, but let's talk about you and staying in that lane. Like, what has been the biggest challenge for you as you continue to evolve as a rock artist?
It's a good question. I think the biggest challenge has not been the world, has not been the audience, has not been the neighbors. It has been the music industry. And like, we are living in a time now where it's flipped, and I'm so happy that I stayed true to myself, because they are no longer 100% in charge. And I think, like, when they were, it was really hard to reach out to the right people, especially because social media was not as big. Yeah. And I think, like, you can have any opinion about social media, but the one thing it does for artists today, it helps you reach your audience on a larger scale, which we didn't have before. So I would say the music industry, and it's such a shame. And if you look back at music 10 years ago, now there's way more substance now. Why? Because the independent artist has come through and they are forced to sign them, or you don't need a label, or you get an independent label. So I think it's like, it's been the industry.
So what I'm hearing is I need to get back on the mic. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Well, the industry has changed so much nowadays, for sure, because it's just not the same as it used to be. I mean, it used to be a whole different thing now, and the social media, as we've talked before on this show, has made the industry a lot different for a lot of people who have broke through. But I know you were even here before the social media. You kind of played before the
She
early on.
was here for the transition, basically.
Yeah.
So,
And I did get a record deal back then.
right, I was reading that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I did get a record deal as a pop artist, and I have no offense to pop at all. And I think it was just the wrong combination of the team, because I wasn't allowed to truly express myself in my lyrics. They're asking me to write a song about LA. I wanted to write about homeless people and the things that I saw in LA. And the lyrics got changed to something with no substance. And I was
probably because you have a high cheekbone. They thought you looked like a pop artist.
I know. They're like,
oh, high cheekbone, definitely pop singer.
Yeah.
It's nice to actually have somebody who does rock. You got signed with the Universal Music Group, by the way. That's who you were signed with, I see.
Yes, back in the day.
You played a lot of places. The Palladium in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's a great place. Great place. You did the American Music Awards 2010.
2010, yes.
Right. Worked with Joan Jett and Guns N' Roses.
No, did not work with Joan Jett. I don't know why it says that. I worked with Kim Fowley.
Oh, Kim Fowley, who has Joan Jett and GNR. Okay, I got that. So
we'll have to talk to her publicist. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And you played such places as the Whiskey A Go Go, and of course the House of Blues is where in Hollywood.
Right.
And Viper Room and the Roxy. You've been all over the place doing all this kind of stuff. Just rocking and rolling.
She's done the whole 9 yards.
Rocking and rolling California.
Yeah, and she's gonna actually we're gonna have her do a song right now here on the show for us. What's gonna be this first number that you're gonna do for us? Tell us a little bit about it.
I'm gonna do Chemically Imbalanced. It's a song that I released a few years ago, and I took it down. Us independent artists would do this all the time, where we put things up and take it down because we want to make it better or whatever. But anyway, so the reason why I chose that is, and honestly, like, I feel like in this pandemic, a lot of people are talking about how, like, the good stuff. I think a lot of people don't want to express the shitty stuff they're going through. So, and I didn't want to express that. And it wasn't until recently where I realized a lot of people around me were feeling just as down as I was. So I'm choosing to play this song to let everybody know that we're all feeling this way right now, and it's okay to talk about it.
All right. Here is INA from KingQueen doing Chemically Imbalanced on Keven and Andrew Have a Podcast.
We were not perfect, but we are one in a million. And I'm holding on tonight. Never again, I promise I'll be a good girl. You don't understand, 'cause we're living in a cruel world. I am who I am, and I can change even if I try. 'Cause I'm chemically imbalanced. 'Cause I'm chemically imbalanced. Sometimes I can't get up, and I can't breathe. So just be quiet, 'cause you don't know me at all. Never again I promise I'll be a good girl. You don't understand, 'cause we're living in a cruel world. I am who I am, and I can change even if I tried. 'Cause I'm chemically imbalanced. 'Cause I'm chemically imbalanced. And I'm coming up and I'm sliding down, and there's too much noise when I'm around. Everything's blurry, they tell you don't worry, just take this pill 'cause it will fix you, but it can't fix you. No, it can't. Never again. I promise I'll be a good girl. You don't understand, 'cause we're living in a cruel world. I am who I am, and I can change even if I try. 'Cause I'm chemically imbalanced. 'Cause I'm chemically imbalanced.
Keven and Andrew have a podcast. Keven O'Neill and Andrew Caravella here, and we're with INA
From KingQueen.
KingQueen, and she's awesome. That's a great song. I like that song a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Rock and roll.
Yep. So okay, KingQueen. Does it mean like you are king and the name is queen, or are we using both royalty here? I'm confused. KingQueen. You have to explain it to us.
So it didn't have a particular meaning in the beginning, but I feel like with the years and the music and the fans and the following and everything, it's grown into a force. But the way it started was when I first moved here, I performed with tons of drag queens, and that was the first couple shows that I got to do. I was on drag queen night, and like I was singing and they were lip syncing, and all my drag queens friends used to call each other queen. So it was like, hey queen, hey queen. And I was like, man, like I don't feel like a queen, I don't feel like a king. And a drag queen said, nah, you're king queen. And so I took that nickname, and that became the artist name when I got signed, and then that became the band name.
That's a cool story. I mean, there's like a real story behind it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it stuck with you ever since.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's just like I said, like throughout the years, it's just grown into a sound, a movement, a way of being, a way of dress. I think it's just I feel like it's just a mix of everything we all are, if I would put it that way.
Right.
But yeah.
So you have it's a new album, or are they just a bunch of new records that are out right now? Because I just watched a music video you released about a month or two ago.
Yes, that was Roller Coaster. So the next single is gonna be Live It Up. It's gonna be really cool. We're working on the music video right now, which is gonna be animation, and
Oh,
I cannot like tell you everything, but it's like such a cool original idea. It's a superhero animation video, which is gonna be like extreme. Like I just don't want anyone to hear the idea and take it and run with it, because
right.
it's like probably one of the coolest things I've ever done, and it's gonna be really cool. The music video is gonna be dope.
That tends to be the norm now, right? Record, single after single after single, versus a traditional like album of like 10 or 15 songs at a time, right?
Right. It is, but at the same time, like we're gonna release an EP or album later this year, because it's important, especially if you're going to tour, or if you're going to do like, if you want to open for other artists, it's not like typically enough to just have one or two singles out. Like usually agencies and like the bigger people that are booking, they want to hear like, well, what would a concert sound like? And that's where the EP or album kind of comes in. And it's a better chance for people to kind of get to know you rather than just having 2-3 songs out there. It's nice. I prefer singles, but I also understand the strategy behind like releasing a bunch of music at once.
So, but do you pick the single from, if you did a song like 10 or 12 songs on an album, would you pick the single out yourself?
Yeah, I tend to make the decisions and everything, but it's often audience based. It's not, it's like, you know, like Every song we perform doesn't get to be recorded, but the songs that get to be recorded are the ones that the audience react the best to. And then obviously the single is the one that wakes people up. So like it's definitely the audience choice, but I'm reading it based on them.
Well, that's kind of crazy because most people, they put their songs and their hearts into a song, and then they perform. They don't perform them until it's released on a record. Then they, go out and perform them. And people, kind of decide to like them then. So you're kind of doing it the opposite way. That's kind of interesting.
Well, it's storytelling, and also like I feel extremely close to my audience, and I feel like we're kind of going through things together. That's kind of how the concerts feel too. So like, I don't know, it's kind of like telling them a story or telling it with them. So I'm excited to sing new songs, and it's fun, and I love seeing the reaction to it versus spending all those months writing it, recording it, and all of that. I feel like that's secondary, and everybody's different, but the live shows are definitely like where King Queen comes to life.
Do you find that you sell more stuff if you go out and perform it first and then record on the record? People decide they want to buy it after they've heard it, and they want to. Do you find you sell better that way?
I would think so, but it's also like I said, and the thing is, in all reality, it takes time to record. It takes a lot of time, and it takes money to record. So I'm like, I write songs, but I don't have the ego of, oh my gosh, like this is my favorite song, so I have to release this. I read the audience, because in the end of the day, I feel like my job as an artist is to inspire someone, help somebody, and like not every song makes it on the record. And that it's just, I'm living for anyone that takes their time, takes an Uber, and chooses to go to a King Queen concert over anything that night. So it's very much fan based, like all of my decisions are.
That's amazing. I wish I had done that back in time, because I'm sure this has happened to you where you have to go on that artist journey and do something that's maybe out of the norm because you feel like it's right. And I did that.
Yeah.
I did music that was completely different than what I started out with. And what I learned at the end of the day after doing that for so long is I should have stuck to how I started making music, because that's it all went back to there. That's where the fans really wanted my tone and my voice.
Right.
And it was like a struggle because, you're like, well, I'm an artist, and, I have to grow and stuff, but I could have grown within that space. And I didn't give myself the time of day to explore it. But, based on what you're telling me, I don't know. I might have to get back into the saddle on this one. We'll see.
Right.
I want to ask you now, so fans, because, you say a lot of what you do is driven, heavily on the fans. Have you had one of those stories or something impactful that maybe a fan has reached out to you and it has told you how they, you've really helped them in their life, or you've really made a difference in their world? Have you had any of those happen?
My whole life. And I think it is because I do pay attention, and like, like I'm not really great with boundaries, to be honest. Like I feel like I do have some sort, but like I do feel like you make a choice, like being on that stage, and you make a choice being approachable, and I will answer every single person that writes me like online. If they get inappropriate, I tell them I'm sorry, like I cannot continue this conversation. But like I've had like multiple people share things with me, and I take my time to talk to them, because I feel like I'm not writing meaningless songs. So it's like that extended time
Right.
that happens after the song. It's like the extended like hug, I guess. I don't know. Like, and I think it's important.
Do you have one story particularly of a fan that really pops out at you, and it was kind of a reflective moment for you where you're like, wow, I can't believe I affected them that way?
Not particularly like that, but at Pride, Long Beach Pride, in the front, they had the seats for the deaf.
Oh,
And
wow.
they asked to see me after, and they were like really like following
Digging
the
it.
concert.
Yeah.
And they asked to see me after, and I don't know I'm saying this right, but the translator, like the
Yeah.
person that does the
The
sign language.
interpreter.
Yes, she came with them backstage because they asked if they could meet me, and they gave me a name, Ina. and like only someone that is in the deaf community can give that to you. So to me, that was important because they did not have to hear me. They could just read the lyrics and they felt connected to me, and that was a big deal for me. Like,
Wow.
that was like, I know it's maybe not the answer you're searching for, but
No, it's good. I mean, I love that. That is so neat. It really,
Yeah.
really is. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
That is
Yeah.
that is one crazy thing too. When the deaf, you know, they can get up close to the stage and they can feel the
Right.
speakers a lot of times. You know?
Right,
They can
right.
feel the music, and if they can read your lips, they really get into it. So that is something that's pretty amazing to do and to feel. I'm sure being on
Yeah.
stage, seeing that, you know, I've done that myself, seen that a
Yeah.
few times. That's pretty crazy how it affects you, right?
Right. Yeah. That one felt like extremely important because it it felt like, okay, I'm doing something right. If they were like into this for this whole concert, I'm doing something right.
Have you ever written a song about a fan by
Yeah.
chance?
Sorry, what
Yeah.
was?
Have you ever written a song at all about a fan or a person that has inspired you?
Uh not like directly to like a person. Well, I wrote a song to my grandma. I think that's
Oh.
the most personal song because it was like directly like a whole song about like her. I've obviously written love songs also, but not, we're like fans. I think people in general, like humans in general, like inspire me. So it's more like of a collective, like a song like of like a we versus you. But yeah, haven't done that. Maybe I should.
Who knows? You never know.
Here's something really interesting I'd like to touch base on very quickly.
Uh-huh.
I was reading your website here. In 2013, King Queen won LA's Hard Rock Rising Battle of the Bands and ended up in the finals top 10 of the worldwide battle of 22,000 bands. They were in the top 10. That's pretty amazing. That was
Yeah.
at the Universal City Walk. I'm assuming in LA here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Tell us a bit about that. How did that feel? And have you done anything to that extent since?
When it comes to, well, you know, like you can measure things in numbers and you can measure things in feelings, right? Or whatever. Like, but that was it's very interesting you're bringing it up. It was a very, very special time. And especially like going on my own, like leaving the label and like not having any help. That was the first time the band had reached like a big success where we really gained a big like momentum. So I would say it's one of the ones in the books, like, but as you're bringing it up, no, I can't like think of a moment that was as important as that. I mean, we were very close to open for Bruce Springsteen. That, I mean, I don't know what can top that, you know. That was like, and I don't want to say, but it felt bigger than the American Music Awards because it was something we did on our own.
How did you feel though being in the top 10 out of 22,000 bands worldwide? I mean, that's worldwide, right? So that's top 10. That's pretty good. You got to say that's, you know, and I again, we'll go back to the Sweden thing. You know, we don't want to brag on you too much here, but
Yeah.
let's brag for a minute. Let's talk about this. This is amazing. Top 10 out of 22,000 bands worldwide. And that's amazing. You tell us about. I know it felt good, and you almost opened for Bruce Springsteen. That's amazing too. That's pretty crazy. Was that the grand prize, or what was the deal with that?
That was and a deal with Hard Rock. So it was going to be a record deal with them. I think a band from London won. But yeah, it was special. But I mean, I gotta tell you guys, like we had fans voting, but it was a movement. I mean, my mom would go down to the beach with an iPad and like ask people to vote for our band, and I had friends all over Europe asking people to vote, and we were like sitting up like 24/7. So it was like, it wasn't just like, oh, you were top 10. It was like a lot of work went into it, and that work like elevated us because it made us realize like we got to keep doing this work for anything that we're doing. So it was like, a big experience. Like even if we didn't win, we won something, because it taught us that like if we collectively like do this, it's like having a street team, and it worked.
Oh, street teams. I miss those days.
I know.
Those were the best. I had one in like every major state.
Yeah.
ACTV Michigan, ACTV New York. It was great.
Did you have the stickers that you had them put in the bathrooms?
They made theirs, actually. These were the MySpace days. So they would make them and take the pictures and post them. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So you got to play the whole talk show host thing. There's a streaming platform called Out at TV. Similar, it's on Roku and like Fire Stick. It's similar to like a Hulu or like a Netflix, where it's a bunch of different, streaming, content on this channel or on this app that you can get. Tell us a little bit about the Rebel Buzz, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Rebel Buzz, about 2 years ago, I actually started a blog, the Rebel Buzz, because I felt like I wanted to write about other artists and whatnot. But then like I kind of like didn't have time to keep doing it, so I like shut it down for a minute. And then during COVID, we were supposed to go on a tour, which was going to be from June to September with Out at the Fair. And so like, every month it was like canceled. And I was naive, because I was like, man, maybe in August, maybe in September.
It's gonna get better. And it never did.
Yeah. But and Out at the Fair was dealing with the same thing. What do we do? How do we like make our brand like keep it alive? So they created Out at TV, and Will was like, hey, if you ever want to do anything. And it was interesting because he came to me in like one of my darkest hours. Like I felt everything sucks. Like literally, like mentally, everything just felt like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like I need something new in my life. I cannot wake up and do the same thing over and over again. So when he reached out to me, I was like, yes, okay, I have an idea. And Rebel Buzz came to my mind and said, let's make a talk show. Like, let's take something that I already had and make like a talk show out of it. And it like saved me. Like, I mean, I don't want to be like dramatic and like, oh my God, it was like the worst, but it was like, I have not felt like that for a long time in my life. So I feel like season 1, the guests truly like saved me, like having that interaction with people, like even if it was on Zoom, they gave me new energy and just inspired me with their life stories and everything they're doing. So it's a very special project, and I just finished shooting season 2.
I was about to say, are you going to do a season 2?
Oh yeah, I'm going to continue. And like once COVID is over, I want to have my own studio, and maybe one day I'll have a studio audience, and maybe I'll be, like
That's
cruising.
good.
Yeah.
If Kevin ever kicks me to the curb, I'll bring my resume.
Yeah.
I have my own studio, so I'm not too worried about that.
All right. Well, what's this next song that you're going to do for us here? Set us up for this one.
This song is called Romantic, and it's written by Purple Child. It's a friend of mine that I started working with actually through Kim Fowley when I first left the label. And it was an amazing moment because he was like, hey, you got to come over. I have this guy over here. I came over, and he had his acoustic guitar and played me this song. And this song became one of the most important songs for KingQueen that we play at almost every show. And it's a KingQueen song. And I collaborated on it with him, and I want to play it because I love it. And yeah, so that's it.
All right, here's Ina from KingQueen performing Romantic.
Hey baby, maybe we've changed, or maybe we stay the same. It's a battle. Life is our war. We are soldiers begging for more. towards you. I'm just trying to be like you wanted me to, so romantic. Hey, so romantic. If you could get high for one night, then you would see life from my side. It's a battle. Life is a war. We're soldiers begging for more. I don't mean to be so damn romantic towards you. I'm just trying to be like you wanted me to. I don't want to be different. I don't want to be different. No. I'm just trying to be like you expected me to. So romantic. Hey, so romantic. Yeah. I don't mean to be so damn romantic towards you. I'm just trying to be like you wanted me to. So romantic. Hey, so romantic. Yeah, it's a battle. Life is a war. We're soldiers begging for more. I don't mean to be so damn romantic towards you.
And we are back here. Keven and Andrew have a podcast. Ina from KingQueen joining us here from Los Angeles. And she's been a great friend of mine for so many years. She's still doing the rock star thing, staying in her lane and having a blast doing it. We've talked about some of her amazing projects from the past. She's performed a couple of songs for us. Before we get to Roller Coaster, which we want to talk about, that's one of your newest singles that's out with the music video, which I just watched today. I want to go to soccer for a hot minute. You know, I'm a former soccer player myself. Helsingborg.
Yeah.
Tell
Okay.
us what's going on here.
So that's my hometown. That's where I'm from. And
Do they call it soccer in Sweden or is it football?
it's football.
Oh, darn. Okay, anyways, continue.
Football.
Because you kick it with your foot,
I know.
you know? Anyways,
You could be socking it with your foot. Soccer. Yeah, soccer with your foot. I don't know.
but so in Sweden, we don't really play the national anthem on our games. So except if it's the national team and it's a national game. Our pro teams don't do national anthems. We do songs, like songs that are for the team, written by artists, like team songs. So yeah, like I talked to them a little bit and we like made a collaboration and I wrote this song for Helsingborg, the team, and I released it last year, and all of the money that come in for all the spins get donated to the team. So it's like a true fan song, and it's really exciting because I can't wait to go back and hear it at the stadium, perform it at the stadium. But yeah, so it's a huge honor. It just feels like, you know, it feels strange because I promoted the song so much and did so much press for it, but last year feels so long ago that I forget that it exists because I haven't performed it. I've never like gone this long without performing it. So anytime anyone brings it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that, and that's so cool. But yeah, so this summer, hopefully, if COVID goes, you know, away, I get to perform it at the stadium, which will probably be one of the coolest gigs in my life.
That is so cool. That's kind of like Faith Hill and then later Carrie Underwood, who here in the States did Waiting All Day for Sunday Night for like the NFL football game.
Right.
You're like that in Sweden.
Yes. Yeah. So that's kind of how it is. So like it's a big deal because like I said, we don't sing our national anthems. Like these songs become the team's pride, and it becomes like the song. It becomes the team's national anthem basically. So it's
So they play the song before every game or during the game? How do they do that?
yeah. So they play them, and they don't play just mine. They play like all of like the theme songs basically, but mine is the latest one.
Right. That's awesome. So
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that
No, but
matters.
it's such an honor. Like honestly, like growing up, like I watch soccer, like it's very special. Like I don't want to talk crap about LA, but it's like in LA you're a fan of whoever's winning, but
Yeah.
in Europe, like or other cities in America, you support your home team because that's who you are. You grew up there, so that's your team. It doesn't matter if they're the top or the middle or the bottom, like it doesn't matter. Like that's your team. And it's so different because here it's like, oh, it's the World Series. Yeah, but you haven't watched one game. Then now you're like proud, go Dodgers. It's like, no, or like, oh, they lost. I'm not gonna go to any games. It's
You're
like,
right.
what?
You are right. I do this all the time. I am guilty of that. I didn't watch one football game this year.
I didn't watch
when
one
it-
football game either.
But when it came to Super Bowl, I was rooting for Mahomes, even though he screwed that up. You're right. People here in the States do that. It's, oh, I'm a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Until it's an off season and the Clippers are killing him. Oh yeah, go Clippers. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's okay. It's just, it's different. Like, I mean, it's just different culture, but it's a big deal. Like, I really can't wait to go home and like really absorb the success from the song, but also like the pride of being with the team and like being part of celebrating, being part of those things. Cause I grew up watching that, and like it's just it's gonna be really, I just can't wait to perform it. I mean, it's gonna
So
be
like I guess soccer there is like the staple sport, right? Like out of all the sports, soccer's at the top of the food chain.
yeah. I mean, most homes like in Sweden, and it's not to become a pro, they have a soccer goal in the backyard. I mean,
that's neat.
yeah, it's what you do. Like my growing up, I never wanted to be a player, but you do that with your friends, and it's like it just brings communities together too. I think because we don't have like huge cities, it's like that's what we do. Like we go to watch the game.
Yeah. All right. So roller coaster.
Yeah.
I love songs. You don't know this about me. I love songs that can insert the words roller coaster in them.
Okay.
And there's not a whole lot that can do it, but this is one of those songs that uses the words roller coaster. Tell us a little bit about this song.
Well, it's a song, it's a combination. So it's not to or about one person. It's just about behaviors like ghosting and stuff like that, which is kind of like, I'm a communicator. So like, it's just an accumulation of like a bunch of situations that have happened. And, when you've been drinking a little bit, you're a little bit more dramatic. And it's like, it's a little bit of, it's about heartbreak, but not like the deepest of the deepest. It's more like that beginning part where things actually never turned into a real relationship. So it's like a roller coaster, and that's how it is, unless it goes well, I guess.
So things basically go up and down in this relationship that you're talking about.
Yes.
Up and down like
Yes.
a roller coaster, and around, crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's like the line, once again, it's 3 a.m. I got another message on my phone. Should I stay or should I go? Because even with you, I feel all alone. And I think like when we're young, we go because we're not appreciating ourselves yet. We're not like mature enough to be like, screw you. Like, no, where were you? Now you're going to text me after you're like done with whatever you were doing at the club? Heck no. So that's basically it.
If you could have a time machine and go back in time to like year 1, year 2, or year 3 of INA, and you're like, hey, I'm the older you.
Yeah.
What would you say to that INA?
Nothing. Because it's
Really?
like, yeah, and I have a song, it's called One Day. Dear me, if I could go back in time, tell you everything is gonna be all right, I wouldn't do it. And so Dare Me, yeah, I wouldn't do it. And the reason why I wouldn't do it is because it's part of your reason. It's part of your life. It's part of your journey. If you live in the past, you'll never move forward. And like, you know, like all of those things, like regrets, if you have regrets, fix that now. Like, don't dwell on it. So if there's like anything you feel like you didn't put energy into, or people, you surround yourself with bad people, then don't do it. You know, like, or like I don't, like, if you have regrets, you gotta fix it now, because there's nothing you can do about yesterday.
Let me ask you this. What if future Ina came to you now? Would you listen to future Ina, or would you say go back where you came from?
Go back where you came from. Yeah, go back where you came from. Yeah.
Cool. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay, Roller Coaster, I want to ask you about this. It was nominated for the Rock Song of the Year at the Hollywood Media Awards. How did that come out? How did that turn out?
I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'm going to tell you why. I get nominated for that freaking award every year, and it's been 10 years. If you're listening, give me the damn award already. No, I'm kidding. But like, it's always fun, and it's an honor to be chosen, to like be nominated. But yeah, I mean, like,
over the years, have you lost to like the same person multiple years?
No, this sounds bad, but I never remember who wins. I just
remember. Oh, okay. Because that would suck. like, oh, so-and-so's beat me 3 times for this award. You got to be kidding. That is truly a Leonardo DiCaprio moment. So I understand that. Eventually, he broke the curse finally. He got off the naughty list. So, you know, maybe 10 more years and you'll be there.
Honestly, it's like I said, it's a huge honor. But it doesn't define anybody. It doesn't matter. You can do it
sounds good, you know.
Sorry.
I said it sounds good. Hollywood and media.
Yeah, awards. Of course. Everything sounds good. It's all names that will help you book the next show or help you further things. But in the end of the day, you cannot take these things personal. All you gotta do is keep going, because music is an opinion. It's like, you know, if you like spaghetti and I like, I don't know, like salmon, like, I mean, it doesn't make you a worse person because you don't like salmon, or, you know, like, it's just the same. Like, you can't take it personal. Like, if you're, to me, in the end of the day, the most important thing is I'm helping somebody. I'm making a positive impact. We're having a great show. People are coming out and they're not stressed anymore because they had a shit day at work and now they get to like enjoy a concert. That is like so much more valuable than anything else. So, you know, like, I'm gonna hopefully keep getting nominated after this, but it's not the best. Whatever. It is what it is.
Well, here's what I think. I mean, I agree with you 100%. I think awards are nothing. Yeah. And here's why. Because everybody gets nominated when they're in their popular times, when they're in their, right, you know, their most popular times. They win awards for their great albums or their great dance routine or their great movie or whatever the case is. But the thing is that, I mean, it's nice to have an award, but look at how many people, like you said, how many people have you reached with doing other things with, you know, you have people that just come to see the songs and you haven't released some of the songs. They just want to hear these songs. And the whole thing is awards are just, it's the way social media is now. It's just basically a popularity contest. It's not really about the work that goes into the music, the way it's been recorded, how you've done what you've done to make it out to people. I mean, it's great to be rewarded for those things, I guess, but in the long run, the reward is really the satisfaction of people coming to you and saying, "Oh, I love this song," or "I love the way you did this," or "I love the way you did that." And I mean, it's kind of the same thing in awards, but it's all about popularity and who you know, and not really. I mean, because there are a lot of great artists out there, and it's not like it was. Again, this is something else that's changed in many years of social media being here now. You know, the awards are just not the same as they were before. I have friends in radio who just got nominated for an ACM award, and that's all great and dandy. But I mean, really, I mean, it's not. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything. And Kim Fowley, he told me this once. You know, like, and he had his awards, and he made a good point. He said to me, you know, I had these awards, I received these awards, but I still walked home alone. And he said to me, make sure you never walk home alone. And that was so much more important than all the other achievements. Make sure you never walk home alone.
Stranger
And that
danger.
doesn't, it's not physically like walk home alone. It's like, make sure you're not alone. Make sure you're doing other
Okay.
things.
But in all honesty, it is stranger danger to walk home alone.
Okay, I have one crazy question here for
Safety
you.
tip. Wait, before you do that, I wanted to build on what you were saying about social media. It's important.
Okay.
Okay. So with what Keven was saying with social media kind of being the award for nowadays, I want you to speak to me as an expert about those musicians who really rely so heavily on social media. Like, do you feel like a lot of the artists who are trying to do the Justin Bieber thing, you know, like getting discovered on YouTube as so many have attempted and stuff, you know, pretenders or copycatters, what is the advice you can give them so they can find this thing called originality? Because let's face it, a lot of them don't have it, but they're so blinded by the thousands and thousands of likes and emojis, they're not getting it. So what advice do you give to those artists that are really trying to make this a professional career, that are relying heavily on social media?
Okay, so in all honesty, I would say stop, because first of all, and I can only speak about myself, I grew up writing songs because I was sad about something or because something happened. And then I decided, oh, I should probably play this with a band. Then we got booked to do a show. Then we played a lot of shitty shows and we sounded like shit, but we had a lot of fun. And then we got better. And then everything grew. And then life was just music. There was no like, we should write this song so we can get 10,000 likes. So like, if that's what you're doing, you're not real. Like, to me, that's just my opinion. You didn't start from a real place. You're not going to end in a real place because it's not your calling. And I'm sorry if that sounds like horrible to say, but I don't believe in people. And like when because I'm part of music groups too. And there's a lot of people are so focused on only the online part. And I'm like, are you making music for Spotify? Are you making music for people? Are you making music for Instagram? Or are you feeling something? Are you vibing? Are you having fun? Are you getting sweaty? Are you jamming? Are you feeling the guitar solo? Like all those things that make music music. If you don't have that naturally, I don't have any advice to give you because it doesn't come from a natural place.
We've had this discussion too before.
I love you so much.
Andrew and I have had this discussion before too. It's true. There's social media has taken away the feeling out of music completely. With even with computers, I mean, we're all sitting here today. I mean, we are working with Zoom because of COVID-19. Andrew's in one studio, I'm in my studio, you know, and then we have you in your home, and you know, I'm sitting here with a big mixer board and the whole bit. And the thing is, though, we will go out to play music, and you're right. That's a great observance, something to notice about. Are you making music for Spotify, Pandora? Are you making music for yourself? Are you feeling the music? Are you making music for people? I mean, what is your direction that you want to go? Because that is that is something I haven't heard before. That is so true. The way music sounds on the radio, and we all listen to the radio a little bit. It's terrible. It's terrible because of the computers and because there's no feeling in it. It's all a lot of it sounds the same. A lot of people using the same, you know, virtual instruments now and the whole bit. And I make real music. I'm a different musician than you. You're rock and roll. I play older classic rock and roll, and I play country. But you know, I mean, it's still got feeling. You know, you have to have the feeling, and that's what's so wrong with music today is that the labels are hiring people for looks, and they're hiring people for popularity. As we were talking about the awards earlier, it's just so amazing that you came across with such a great vision of you need to feel the music, and are you making music for people and not for the labels and not for Spotify?
Yeah, it has to be like that. And no offense, I'm not saying this artist, and I'm gonna just take a big artist as an example. But if you look at, for example, Beyonce and all the songwriters and all the beat makers and all of these things, and then you take Freddie Mercury, and it was just his feelings.
Right.
And he is larger than life. And I'm sorry, I don't care about like I appreciate the performance, but unfortunately, because I look up to James Brown, Michael Jackson, all these people, I grew up with a completely different reality where it's like, I can't, like, and again, Fireworks, great song. I can't stand listening to Katy Perry. I'm sorry, I don't feel it. If I don't feel it, I don't care what the radio tells me. It's like, no, like, I'm sorry. And you know, like, again, like today, like TikTok, all these things, and I'm just like, man, but did this song come from something, or was it just cool? And that's fine. If people want to listen to things because it's cool, good. Like that's an audience too. But the industry is forgetting about people, daily life people that are going through struggles, that are not, like, I'm not saying not cool, but like that are going through life stuff, like that needs something to relate to. That's why people listen to the 70s. That's why people listen to music from the 80s, because no one's creating anything right now.
I
And
think
that
there's
music-
I think there's a lot of fans, and there's a good amount of music listeners and lovers out there that agree with that statement, that, you know, they're out there to find the story, they're out there to find the message, you know, they're not out there to find the hook.
The
you
hook,
know?
yeah.
And that music stays around forever. It's a mainstay music. I mean, you've talked about James Brown. James Brown's been around for, 50, 60, 70 years.
Wow.
And he's just, he's a mainstay. The Beyonce, I mean, I guess she's great. I mean,
She's amazing.
but the thing is that I don't think her music is near what James Brown did. I mean, she doesn't feel, she's a talent.
She's got some good ones.
She does. I mean, and I do like Katy Perry. Some of the songs though are mundane. A lot of the songs are just, they're plain. There's no color to them. And that was my thing. I was talking to someone else the other day that there's no color to these songs. They're just black and white. They're plain. They come out. They're trying to push these songs out so fast. And
you know what's funny about that too? It's almost like they're good on some songs and they nail it, right? They absolutely nail what you're talking about, where it's true, it's about people, and it goes over very well, and it's professionally managed. And then other times it's everything else that you're talking about. Katy Perry started out with
I Kissed a Girl.
I Kissed a Girl and Hot and Cold. I mean, and that was revolutionary. Well, I Kissed a Girl was revolutionary, and then but is it like diluted now? You know what I mean? Beyonce, she had If I Was a Boy, the idea of, I'm treated unfairly because I'm a woman and stuff. I mean,
but that's fine. But my problem is when I hear songs from people and I feel like, have you lived? What's your life?
Right.
When they've been so programmed
Exactly.
to only be artists.
And what I'm getting at is these artists have the capability,
Yeah.
because they've proven it,
Yeah.
to do what you're saying and be people in the music. But yet the majority of what they produce is the other thing, right? Where it's it's a pre-manufactured sound with like 43 people that wrote it.
Here's what happens. Here's really what happens with any artist, in my opinion. The freshman album and the sophomore albums are always great, and this is the reason why, because they just got signed with a label. The label wants to get them out there, promote them, make them great. So they bring in the best songwriters, they bring in the best background singers, they bring in the best production editors, the best engineers, and the best promotions. They do everything, the best photographers. They do everything they can. That was great. First album, second album. So then the third album comes out, and they've got a mainstay, and they started doing their thing. But then they're like, well, we're going to, focus our attention's on more new artists now. So you're kind of going to, you're kind of so now this is where everything starts going downhill, because the artist starts putting in their 2 cents about the music. And some artists are really good at it. They are really good at putting in their 2 cents. I mean, they know what to do. Look at Madonna's a great example. Madonna had, tons of albums, but now they're kind of going downhill. Same with, who else is a great? Mariah Carey. I love Mariah Carey. Her albums were fantastic. She sang, she had the triple E's, when she, way up there, the whole bit. But now
Kevin hits those every morning when he wakes up.
Everything she does now is like, very soft and whispery, and it's not like Mariah Carey was Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey, was a fantastic singer. I'm sure she still is, but
what were those notes again, Kevin, that she hits?
Triple E.
Maybe it's hard because they're solo artists. You understand? Like maybe it's because they are working with teams constantly. and they're not like, if I want to call my guitar player today and vibe on a song, it's a natural thing. But they have like the manager, because I did pop as a solo when I got signed, and everything was based around a team. And that's why I felt like, I got to get out of here. Like, it didn't matter all the tools they could provide me. I was like, my heart's not in it. I'm sorry. I cannot pretend to be this person. Like it wasn't in my nature, So I think like having that experience at the same time, like I don't want to be like, oh, poor Beyonce, because she's a millionaire. But like, like, it's like at the same time, maybe it is difficult because they are one person, and it's not like, Green Day. Who could tell Green Day what the heck to record? Like they're gonna be like, no, like this is what we're playing, and I think it's different to like work with the band versus working with a solo artist. So maybe that's why, like, because all the people we brought up, like, they're solo artists. And
right. Well, and the reason why that is we had this discussion a few weeks ago with another artist who was a country artist, John Dietrich. Record labels are not signing bands anymore. They're only signing duos or trios or singles pretty much now. They're not doing, unfortunately, they're not doing bands anymore. Yeah. So bands are pretty much on their own to do their thing or whatever the case is. Yeah. So.
But in a way, in the rock world, like it still works because it's like, it's authentic. There's no label. I like this band. It's like, in a way, it actually works. I think it's easier for a band versus a solo pop singer being, like without a label. It's the same with like rappers. Like they get a lot of help from their like buddies. Like they get help pushing their stuff out. I think it's hard. It's harder if you're a solo artist not to have a record deal.
Sure is.
Okay,
so yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, you had a weird question you were going to ask her, right?
Question. Yeah, it's a crazy question.
Go for it. I want to know what this is.
Okay, Ina, I want to know, you're from Sweden. So do you have a great Swedish meatball recipe for me?
That is pretty weird.
Oh man,
that is freaking weird, man.
I mean, not really. It's just like, first of all, I'm a vegan now, so I don't do that. But when I did eat meat, like no, not really. It was just like the ground beef and like crack an egg, and I used the yellow, what's it called, yolk, right?
Yolk.
Yeah, 2 or 3 of those, and then that's it. Made them into little meatballs, and it's all in the sauce. Honestly, it's always about the sauce.
So what is traditional then for Swedish meatballs as far as the sauce goes?
Brown sauce.
What is it?
It's called brown sauce.
Right. Have you ever had it with grape jelly sauce?
I don't think so.
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. And you thought my question was weird, Andrew, and here you are elaborating on it. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Anyway, it's not about me, Keven, okay? It's about Ina.
You have a surprise today.
Good.
Yeah, say that again.
Which is a surprise today.
Some IKEA locations actually have pretty good Swedish food.
Yeah, I've had them. It's pretty good. Okay, so you have another song other than Roller Coaster. Tell us a little bit about what's in the future of 2021 for Ina.
Okay, so Live It Up, which I mentioned earlier, it's actually a really cool song. It was like created by me and the band, like us. Like it was like, I was like, okay, we need a new song. Let's just get to the rehearsal studio and vibe. And it was literally happened instantly. And the crazy part is it's like a mix of the 70s, a mix of the 80s with the synths, and a mix of the now. Like I can't even explain. Maybe I can like play, let's see.
Yeah.
What would I have? Maybe I can play just yeah,
give us the teaser here.
Well, what I want to play is I want to play. Yeah, okay, then I'll give you a little bit. This is not like
is it mixed or is this raw?
No, it's not mixed, but
ooh, yes. I like that.
bass line.
It's going in and out, but I get it.
Yeah.
The bass line almost sounds like you'll laugh at this, Kevin. That bass line almost reminds me of like every car chase that was ever on this 1970s Chips TV show on the motorcycles.
Yes.
And the guitar part sounded to me like, "Come on and take a free ride."
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's got that,
Which is like the 70s, right?
Edgar Winter Group. Yeah, it's got that feel to it. Yeah.
Okay, so when does that come out?
So hopefully end of March, beginning of April. But it was cool because like when we did it, the band told me for the lyrics, because like I come up with melodies fast, like it's not hard for me at all. So I was like, like doing the melody, but like some like deeper, darker things came out, and they're like, no, this is gonna be a positive song, no more sad songs. So like literally, like I had the recording off our jam, and I was in the pool like in the summer, and just like I was just like singing, like trying to find like what felt good, what still was us, authentic, because again, I don't want to. But then like with COVID and everything, like it's like truly like it's not about COVID, but it's perfect timing to release it, because I think the lyrics in the song represents how we do feel, but in like an exciting way of getting out of like,
right.
You're gonna hear it and it's gonna make sense. And the same with the video and the animation. But so it's a positive song, but I'm just like so proud of all the music parts and the band and everything we came up with in one freaking session, and it became an amazing song. But yeah, it's not a sad song, so
that's good.
Yeah.
So INA of KingQueen, you can get her. Oh my gosh, what's the website again here? INA of KingQueen.com. That's INA of KingQueen.com. Follow her on social media, buy her merch, listen to their music, watch their music videos. She's got a really great YouTube page as well. So that is where you are right now. I'm super excited for what's new with you. And you got in my head, so I don't know. I'm gonna start thinking about music again. I don't know if that's safe, but we'll see what happens.
You have to.
Oh my God, you got such a cute cat after Kevin said all those horrible things at the beginning of the show about cats.
What did you say? I used to not like cats at all.
I'm not a cat fan. I'm a cat fan.
We did two cat stories for our monologue, and he was telling us, how I hate cats. And then here you are with the cutest little cat I've ever seen.
Well, she makes her look. I mean, she does a good job. They help each other look. It's great. You guys are awesome.
It's actually a very special music cat, and let me tell you why.
Yeah.
So notice how like I was playing the song, so he made his way through from the other side of the house. I teach music. He like doesn't really care about me that much, but anytime I'm teaching music, he wants to sit on my lap. And it's crazy. Anytime I'm recording, he wants to sit on my lap. Anytime I'm doing anything music related. So he's like a music cat. He truly appreciates music. It's really weird.
I love that.
Cat, man, he's a music cat.
He's a cool cat, right? Feeling the vibes. Yeah. Anyways, Ina, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And you can get going if you'd like. We're going to do our little outro that we do at the end of every episode.
Okay. All right.
Thank you again. INA of KingQueen, everybody. INA of KingQueen. INA of KingQueen.com.
Catch her on YouTube. Great videos on YouTube. Catch the YouTube videos. Awesome. I just saw.
So Kevin, that's the show. That's a wrap. How did we do?
We did good. I thought I had a good time. I enjoyed myself very much.
Yeah. Now you have a new artist to add to your playlist.
I am very excited about that. Very excited about the new artist. She's that song, the last song, man. Wow. I can't wait to hear the final mix. That's going to be awesome to hear.
So I'll have to tell you now. Usually you do this stuff at the beginning of the shows, I guess, when you bring in an artist. But I guess I'll have to tell you how I met her. Okay. So I have this great friend who's actually produced and co-wrote some of my older music, Gabe Lopez. And I told him I need somebody who is a girl who does rock music, because I hadn't covered any of that on any of my old stuff. And he said, I got just a person. And I said, okay, but you're like, sure, it's rock music, right? It's not like that fake stuff where they say it's rock, but it's really just, over synthesized guitars doing pop music. And you'd be surprised. It's hard to find decent girls in LA that do rock music or have rock bands. And he knew just the person. And from the minute that I met her, I knew like, oh, this is like one of my go-to girls when it comes to rock music. And it's been like that ever since.
There's just not, there's not really a lot of women who do good rock music anymore. Everything, and actually, what, to me, as I was telling her earlier, I don't think a lot of the music that is out there now is any good as far as rock, especially as far as rock music goes. It's all, it's kind of funny too that she said earlier that this song is very happy and it's bright and it's not dark. I was doing dark, I mean, the thing is that good pop rock, music is hard to come by these days. So I can't wait to hear it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what makes her unique too.
I know, and the Swedish complex thing too. Like it's international.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, subscribe to our audio only episodes. If you want more Keven and Andrew Have a Podcast, you can find that if you're on the go at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa. I had to say that soft in case anyone's Amazon is on or Alexa's on, and Google and Apple Podcasts. Also, you can subscribe and follow on YouTube or Facebook. Watch the video version of this, KevinO'NeillSoundLabs.com. If you want to watch it there. It's a good spot. A lot of people
actually the podcast there. At the podcast area and KevinO'NeillSoundLabs.com has the audio as well. And
okay.
You can do both. You can check it out. Both. It's really nice. It's all set up real sweet. So if you want to go there and check it out, give us a like or two. Send us some love.
And we're getting emails, people. KOACpodcast@gmail.com. KOACpodcast@gmail.com. I love it. If you guys want to give us more complaints, I'm really into the complaints about me specifically. We like to talk about that stuff like therapy here on the show about what I'm doing wrong. So send that our way.
I can't make it. I can't write that many letters. It's just
there's not enough letters and words in the alphabet to complain about what's wrong with me.
I don't have enough stamps to send you all the mail for the.
So, hey, you can hit me up on Air Andrew on all social media, TikTok now, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook on Air Andrew.
And me, I'm L4. That's capital L, the number 4, MONTY. And you can do that. You can send me email too, capital L, the number 4, MONTY. And you can also go to Keven O'Neill Sound Labs and send me email through there as well. So it's good. We're on Facebook with a show live on television and also on YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's good stuff. So, hey, everyone, we got to get going. We'll see you next week. I'm Andrew Caravella later.
I'm Keven O'Neill. Take care. Keven and Andrew Have a Podcast. God bless you. Be safe this week.
Keven and Andrew Have a Podcast has been made possible by Keven O'Neill Sound Labs. If you're an independent singer or songwriter and you want to be on the show, you can always email us at koacpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to subscribe and follow on YouTube and Facebook, keyword Keven and Andrew Have a Podcast. You can always subscribe to the audio-only version at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa, or Google and Apple Podcasts. I'm Andrew Caravella. We'll see you next time. Later.